Grace and peace, everybody. We're back. It has been a busy week, and I want to thank you all for hanging in there with me and enduring with me because I haven't been consistent in uploading real videos. So I apologize for that. But it's just been a lot going on. So thankfully, I believe I'm on the tail end of a whole bunch of work, which is good. Having some good work to do is amazing. So I think I'm on the tail end of it. So I should be able to hopefully get back to some regular content real soon. And I'm going to try my best to do that. But this is going to be my one and done. Again, I'm not going to edit this video, so hopefully there won't be many hiccups or anything like that. We got some dusty comments. So let's go.
Media reaction genre. Silly comments are considered especially heinous. At Dear Woke Christian, the dedicated content creators who investigate these horrible comments are members of an elite squad known as the Dusty Comments Unit. These are their stories.
All right. Let's see. What's dusty today, Jason? What's dusty? Y'all, I don't understand it. Hey, there's certain subcultures and subgroups within culture that you almost guaranteed to get triggered about something. Sometimes, though, you just don't know what triggers them. Like, what is it that's going to trigger them to get, all up in arms? Watch this video that I posted yesterday, and you tell me what you think. If I did it right. I did.
And yet Jesus sends him forth as an effective witness. Why? Because he says, return to your home. And this is what you're to do. Declare how much God has done for you. That's the witness. That's the evangelism. He'd never been to church. And yet Jesus sends him forth as an effective witness. Why? Because he says, return to your home. And this is what you're to do. Declare how much God has done for you.
That was it. It was 18 seconds. 18 seconds. Not a really long. My pastor's preaching from the book of Luke. Jesus has just healed the demoniac possessed by Legion. And he's just summarizing, just saying, hey, Jesus, the guy wanted to go with Jesus. And Jesus told him, no, go back to your community, go back to your town and tell the wonderful things that God has done. It seems as unoffensive as I can imagine. But like I said, there's subcultures and there's groups that just get offended about something. They're going to find something to be upset about. So now let's go to this comment section of the same video. I'm going to drop this down a little bit. You don't need to see me. All right, let us go. All right. Several atheists came out of the woodwork about this clip. I have no idea what got what B got in their bonnet. So there's actually like 3 of them that really like this guy right here, Bob. There's another guy named Nicholas. And then this is a gentleman we're going to look at, Hank. We're going to look at him. But it makes no sense. It makes 0 sense what they're offended by. Yikes.
And yet
he's never been to church. Thank you, Joe. It makes no sense what they're turned up about. So let us see what Mr. Hank has to say, because of course he's going to have some wise, sage wisdom to share with us. And he starts out as such. So again, Joel is saying, hey, Jesus told the man to go back and tell the people what God has done in your life. And so this person, Hank, decides that he has to share his deep and profound insight. Our American schools are not your church. What are you talking about? There's nothing about church, there's nothing about school, nothing about America in that clip. What does that have to do with anything? So I said, I am so glad no one was pushing for that. Thanks for stating the obvious. I didn't give myself heart for that. That was pretty good. All right, and he comes back. Dear Woke Christian, how about this one? Then YouTube shorts are not your church. YouTube shorts are not your church. Maybe he doesn't understand what a church is. And maybe like a little lesson on what is a church and what is the church would probably benefit this guy. But I continue. You are really in your feels over an 18-second clip. I'll keep doing what I'm doing, and you do the same, buckaroo. I don't know why I want to call him a buckaroo. I just thought that was kind of a fun name today. Just call him a buckaroo. Drop down in the chat. What's a good name for somebody. I call them Buckaroo. You hear people call them Sport or Bub. You know what? Like what's a good, just a fun name to call somebody when you're in a disagreement? I said Buckaroo. What do you think? Down in the chat, let me know. Dear woke Christian, and this is where it got really interesting. And I really feel like the train jumped off tracks real quick. Dear woke Christian, Egypt managed to keep its religion going for over 4,000 years. So don't you think your Neretic 2,000-year-old cult belief is any better? In fact, it still has a long way to go. Oh, okay. All right. What is the Egyptian religion you speak of? Do you practice it? Why not? It's better than Christianity, but not good enough for you? Okay. I don't understand. Like he says it's good. It's a great religion. Well, then let's talk about it. You are ignorant of the history of the world religions, past and present. The Norse Edda can also provide an example, or rather explanation of the formation of the universe and all life, but you refuse to believe it. Why is your creation myth better than theirs? Let's talk about the question I asked in the previous post. Thanks in advance for your answer. And he continues, ask and already answered. You are ignorant of the history of the world, religion past and present. Your inability to parse and understand the written word speaks for itself, and then blatantly your preachings. To back that up, here is some vetted data you'd rather not see. According to the studies of the Alban Institute and Fuller Seminary, 50% of ministers drop out of ministry within the first 5 years, and many never go back to church again. Okay, those are the references. Thank you for giving those. Maintaining personal resiliency, lessons learned from the Evangelical Protestant Clergy Journal of a Duke University study found that 85% of seminary graduates entering the ministry leave within 5 years, and 90% of all pastors will not stay into retirement. And let's not forget, someone has to graduate last from seminary. Would that person be you? I have no earthly clue what this person's talking about. None whatsoever. I understand that he wants to. I don't get it. I don't understand what he's talking about. Unless, of course, you are one of those self-appointed ministers, which then makes that person a clear and present danger to society. Ask me more about that assertion if you dare. Oh, I'm an atheist and aged American, by the way. I think it also fair to run my colors up the mast. What does that mean? Can somebody tell me what that means? What are you talking about? Here, we're going to just leave him like this.
He'd never been to church. He'd never been to church.
I guess we don't need to do that again. All right, let's try this again, Jason. Where did the clip go? Some reason or another, YouTube sorts them differently now. Okay, this one go right here. What are you talking about? Man, you are killing this video's views. Please share with your other rabid atheists. Let's go with peers. I don't want to feel like spelling rabbit and messing it up and embarrassing myself. All right, so. All right, that was just like a head scratcher. Like, what? All right. I like to use these dusty comments as an opportunity to kind of explain how to deal with people who disagree with you theologically or disagree with you as it relates to where you stand as a Christian. So the next one I think is actually a better example. So I'm going to pull this up, make sure I do it right this time. Perfect. And again, this is to this 18-second clip. You've heard Joel preaching, and this is what this person says. This is why I can't get behind Christianity. Something bad happens. Thank God for all your other blessings. I can be positive without giving a mystical being all the glory. When you feel like there is a higher being guiding you to act in a certain way, you found yourself in a methodology which ancient civilizations would cream themselves for. I have no idea. There is an illusion of free will and an overarching sense of obedience. Okay. All right. Again, I have no idea. What I'm finding a lot of these people do is they start off talking about something that totally is not what was discussed at all. They just have a pet problem. They have a pet issue that they want to make much of, but they don't actually bring to the point that you're making. Joel here, right here, just said that God healed the man and he told him, go back and tell the wonderful things that God has done. That's it. And I just told him, that's your choice to focus on whatever. No one is requiring you to do differently. And he replies, so true. I'm not being forced to believe in a religion. Let me open this up. I'm not being forced to believe in a religion. I've only got my father now telling me I'll go to hell whenever I visit home. Like I stated before, this religion is held to the stake by obedience. How does it obtain obedience? Fear. Don't tell anyone. And now he's going to go off on another tangent. Don't tell anyone. This is a secret. This is our secret, or else something bad will happen. There are more child molesters in the church than any given prison system around the globe. And so I replied, you've made a ton of assertions. Am I sorry that you've had that you have that story in your life? That doesn't make God false or to blame. Give myself a little thumbs up for that. I like that. It's not that he's replying back. It's not that I'm calling you a bad person, definitely not calling you a child molester, but I'm tired of religious zealots trying to force their religions down my throat. I see it everywhere, in the streets, on my campus, online. If you found peace, good for you. Now let others have their peace and stop bombarding the public with these fallacies. Okay. That's fair, I say. You say forcing religion, and I want to ask you more about that. Let's say you found a huge fountain of refreshing water. It meets all of your thirst needs. The more you drink, the more water there is. It's truly limitless. Let's also say that there are mobs of people around you that are taking in glasses full of dirt, sand, and filth. They don't know about the well that you have found, and some doubt that it even exists. Would you tell the masses around you about the fountain that you found? And he replies back, would I tell people about the endless spout of water? Yes. Would I tell people how they can enrich their lives through living for Jesus? No. I quit smoking a year and a half ago. I learned different concepts and techniques to help me not to smoke again. I'm not going around telling my friends and family members who are smokers all of these techniques that help me stop smoking. Why? Because everyone moves in their own pace. Or he said at their own pace, sorry. They cannot be moved by external factors. Point of the story, I don't think Christianity is as good as it seems on face value. If it helps you find your peace, go for it. If the ideology speaks to you, so be it. I feel that it put me in shackles in a cave where all I could see were the shadows casted from the light on the outside. I know he's trying to make, he's referencing a poem. Just seems kind of dumb, but let us continue. So you won't tell smoking family, friends, how to quit and more powerfully, how you quit? I wonder if you think smoking is as bad as you say. Sure, you can't make them quit, but why would you not at least share? Seems like that's the caring thing to do, even if you believe people move at their own pace, which I agree as well. What about Christianity is not so good as it seems on its face? If you don't mind me asking. And so he replied back, no, studies have shown that smokers who are shown pictures of blackened lungs or given methods to stop smoking by medical professionals increase their anxiety, which in turn makes them crave smoking more cigarettes. If you want to change, especially when it comes to addiction, you've got to do it yourself. Helping others might seem nice from your point of view, but from the other's perspective, you are doing them a disservice. Here's my reply, so you'd be okay with your favorite family member or friend to continue to puff 2 packs a day rather than share with her what you learn to help you not only overcome the anxiety and stress, but also stop smoking. Mind you, the remnant of their smoking does play a small part in your smoke-free success story. Dear Woke Christian, what I meant by Christianity isn't as good as it seems is this. Everybody wants to warm hug to come home to at night. Everyone wishes there is something after we die. Christianity gives you that. It gives you a friend who is supposedly isn't judging you, who is supposedly not judging you. Someone that will protect you as you sleep. Someone you can confide in. Someone who can give you eternal life. It's taken a lot of time for me to stop thinking Christianity is a cop-out, because I see friends and family members who really do believe they'll see the deceased loved ones once they die too. They too die. Okay. Regardless, we can endlessly argue about whether or not God exists, and if this is my room, and if he's in my room behind me right now, and can continue to argue for ages that he doesn't exist. If all ends the same, I'm going to bed thinking the way I do, just as you. I'm out. Take care. I appreciate you taking the time to chat. Keep it easy. So I brought that up and I wanted to read it because I wanted to show you this is how we deal with people who profess to be atheists or agnostic or some kind of flavor thereof, is to keep pushing back and keep asking them to clarify and to point out where their arguments don't make sense. So in the first person, you see that once you push back, he jumps to another topic. He's talking about Egypt. You push back on that, he starts talking about ministers leaving them after seminary. I don't know what any of that had to do with the short in hand. The next one I think is I think the guys tried to stay a little bit more on the topic, if you will. However, even in that, he never answered the fact that he would be perfectly okay not telling his family member that they should stop smoking because it might cause anxiety. But even more there's a lot of problems even with that study, if you think about it, because he's assuming that everybody who smokes has anxiety and such like that. And everybody who smokes, because they see a blackened lung or they see a warning label, they're going to have more anxiety and smoke more. That doesn't even sound right. There's a lot of problems with that. But even more than that, does that mean you're still not going to tell them? You're still not going to tell them. So you love them so much that you let them keep smoking their lungs to ash. You love them so much that you would not give them that good, refreshing water. Okay, that's what you want me to believe. I don't think it's true. So anyway, that was it. This is a Dusty Comments episode. Thank you so very much for liking the video, sharing the video, all that kind of good stuff like that. Most importantly, I want to thank Podium Studio who is our sponsor of this video. Podium Studio is my studio, content creating studio that I've started that is going to be editing this video and shooting it out to all the internet streets once we start editing it. But I want to thank you all so much for your support. Thanks for hanging out with me. Thank you for all the dusty comments. Everybody that leaves a dusty comment, I appreciate you. If your comment wasn't dusty enough for this, hey, don't worry about it. I'm sure it will still be dusty. And I thank y'all all so much, everybody. Grace and peace. We're out.